Salad's MMA sucks. And he's gay.
UFC 313 is happening tomorrow, and there's a fighter on the undercard that's getting shit on pretty heavily. There's a lot of criticism towards this fighter, there's a lot of jokes being made about them, and I find a lot of the jokes pretty funny, but I'd like to take a step back and, pull the punches a little bit, because Alex Morono, the subject of today's video, I don't think he deserves all the hate. I don't think he deserves all the negative attention on him. I've been a big Alex Morono fan. I have the screenshots to prove it. And this isn't just a hardcore fan sort of video, This isn't me going, hey guys, look how fucking cool I am because I like an unranked welterweight who trades wins and losses. No. I have a lot of reasons as to why you should be a fan of Alex Morono and why we should be rooting for him to get the win this Saturday. So let's get into it. So Alex Morono, he begins his career and he ends up going 11-3 and then gets into the UFC in 2016. Ever since then, he's traded wins and losses, has gone on some pretty good win streaks in the past, and he's now 13-8 in the UFC. There's a good portion of the fan base who don't appreciate him due to certain lackluster fights. Like, for instance, his rematch with Nico Price was one of the lesser quality fights of whatever year that happened. And some people just think he's not a good fighter. They consider him a can, which I completely disagree with. Alex Morono, aside from the fighting career, he's a pretty cool dude. He has a pretty relatable and inspiring upbringing, in my opinion. And despite the lackluster fights I just mentioned, check out his resume. He has a lot of fun fights. This guy has been in some wars, some slugfests, some rope-a-dope wins where you don't expect him to win. He's losing the fight, but then he wins out of nowhere. This guy, he can shock you. He's very fun. And just because of those quick reasons, I think he should be more of a fan favorite. This guy shows out. Well, he doesn't show out all the time. The Nico Price rematch, that was not a good fight, like I said. But I've seen so many Alex Morono fights where he actually delivers a very fun performance, whether he's on the losing end or on the winning end. So Alex actually got into mixed martial arts to lose weight and get healthy, something a lot of us could do because we're all fat and ugly. He was just an unhealthy guy who was playing a lot of video games, and through mixed martial arts, he eventually started doing competitions, and before he even knew it, he was fighting as a pro fighter. I think it's worth mentioning that in his 8th fight in the main event, which is also the same card that Adrian Yanez would debut on, he would win the fight because his opponent bit him. It's worth mentioning, it's interesting. Alex, he's a very down-to-earth guy. He is and has been a very hardcore fan of the sport. He doesn't oversell anything. He just says it how it is. If there's a harsh reality to, his fighting career or something, he'll say it. He's not one of these guys who are, I'm going to make a title run one of these days. You know what I mean? He's there for a good time. He's very fan-friendly, and he says it how it is. I always think it's very refreshing to see honesty in the sport. There's so many athletes and fighters who are just blindsided. They all have this vision that they're going to be champion one day. But yeah, going back to the fan thing, a few years back, there was a Reddit Ask Me Anything that he held, and he even says on there that getting spinning wheel kicked by Anthony Pettis was dope. Like, how many fighters are going to admittedly be like, oh yeah, getting kicked by this guy was pretty cool? Too many people are prideful, and Alex, as a fan of the sport, he keeps it honest. I think one of the biggest things that Alex gets, discredited for is maybe his physique. He's not Shamil Gaziev, that's for sure, but he's also not super ripped. Because of this, whether it's his physique or, his aura, there were even fighters who thought he would be an easy matchup. For example, Zach Otto, I think in 2018 or 2019, Zach Otto would call out Alex a lot, thinking he would get an easy fight, thinking he's the better fighter, and eventually that matchup happened. Unfortunately for Zach Otto, Alex was much better than he anticipated, and Alex fucked him up pretty bad. One of the downsides for Alex Morono is he has admitted that he likes to fight in the Apex, apparently because it's close and convenient for him. That's probably not a good thing. It's not very fan-friendly to be one of the Apex legends, but it's worth mentioning. Now, with all of that said, I pretty much just said the same shit, you know what I mean? Alex, he's an honest, cool, relatable guy, goes from playing video games as this fat guy. Well, I don't know if he was fat, I haven't seen pictures, but assuming, got into MMA to lose weight. That's a cool upbringing, you know what I mean? I think Khalil Roundtree has a similar story. But yeah, those were the first couple of points. The next thing I'd like to talk about is how he has come up short in his last couple of fights, but he has a very hard yet fun matchup with Carlos Leal. This is going to show a lot. Like, can Alex still hang with these hard-hitting and up-and-coming guys? And can he put together a crafty veteran win? A crafty vet win, as Lucas Tracy would say. I fucking love that guy. I watch a lot of MMA YouTube, and not once have I seen someone pick Alex to win, which is reasonable. You know, Alex tends to win against, you know, older, other crafty vet guys. You know what I mean? When it comes to newer competition or like newer guys, he'll get smoked or he'll lose by decision or something. But Alex, you know, despite the silly fights he gets into, on a good night, Alex is pretty good. He'll put together good pressure, good boxing. He'll fucking push you against the cage if he needs to. He'll smother you. His ground game is underrated. I'm going to pick him to beat Carlos Leal just because I'm a hardcore fan of Alex. I mean, I look to the right and I have a fucking Alex Morono card for some reason. Fuck Carlos Leal, dude. This guy, I think he popped for steroids. You know, who cares about Carlos Leal, dude? We need to keep Alex in the UFC. We need him on a win streak. We need Alex to fight a ranked opponent finally. After this fight, if Alex wins, give him Neil Magny. That's a hardcore fans fight. That's a good fucking fight. Put that in the co-main event of an Apex card. But yeah, that's all the stuff I have to say. Nothing too groundbreaking, nothing crazy. I'm just talking here, having fun. Overall, Alex Morono is a true martial artist. Apparently, he met his wife through mixed martial arts. He's made a lot of his friends through the sport. Yeah, like I said, he's a true martial artist. He's there to fucking go out and bang every single time. I think that needs to be appreciated more. For all the Mario Batistas in the sport, and who's another guy that people don't like? For all the fucking Magomed Ankalaevs there are, you know what I mean? Who just talk shit, fight boring, aren't exciting. For the most part, we got guys like Alex Morono, and yes, while he can get into some boring fights, this guy's either gonna fucking hurt somebody pretty bad and have a fun fight, or he's gonna get hurt himself, you know what I mean? And he admits to it, he's honest, and he's a fan of the sport. So that's why Alex Morono is a cool, down-to-earth guy, similar to us. Obviously, we're too fucking pussy and fat and ugly to get into the octagon. I'm not ugly. I'm pretty fucking Chad-like. While he isn't beating the most tip-top competition, he's nothing but humble in victory and defeat. And we need more of that in the sport. Alex Morono, you're a fucking goat. Let's go.
Impression of Alex Morono and Cedric Dumas in an elevator, and Alex gets pressed because his nickname is the Great White. Man, what you mean, man? Give me that shit. Boonk gang for life, dog. We out here, man. He looks like Boonk gang, doesn't he, Cedric Dumas?
Come on, man. I'm the Great White. Come on. Even my surname means fucking brown.
Again, I such a